Hey guys, Brian Zach with you here. Thanks for joining me. Today's drum lesson video is about playing better solos through restriction. What do I mean by that? Restriction. Well, the idea that I'm going to restrict my choices to play a drum solo on only a certain number of parts of the drum set. This thereby helping me to play better drum solos and or parts, because don't forget, this concept can apply to grooves as well. It's not just about drum solos, although that is the primary focus of this lesson, but you can also apply this concept to just playing parts for a song, for instance. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to take we're looking at all the instruments I have here at the drum set, and we're going to only allow myself to play like a certain, maybe just one instrument or a certain grouping of instruments, if you will. For instance, maybe I'm just going to play a solo just on the toms. So don't touch the snare, don't touch the cymbals, don't even touch the bass drum, just the toms. That's just an example, okay? So, this can also be applied to restricting your playing to a certain subdivision. So in other words, I can choose maybe just 16th notes. All I'm going to play is 16th notes in my solo. And that's restricting your solo to just that grouping of notes, the 16th note subdivision. So that can force you to think creatively there. As well, last but not least, and I'm gonna demonstrate all of these examples, but we can also take just a certain number of notes. In other words, we can do like just 3 notes or 4 notes or 5 notes and play a solo based upon the 3, 4, or 5 notes. Pick one and just play motifs that are 3, 4, or 5 notes long. Okay, so let's get into the demonstration of what I'm talking about here. Let's restrict the drum set to just the snare drum, and I'm going to play a short solo on just the snare drum, and let's see what happens. Okay, I can tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to be forced to get creative to play different things on the snare drum so that it's not all just one sound. So I'm gonna be drawing different sounds out of the snare drum. I might play the drum in different ways than I normally would because I'm only allowing myself to play that snare drum. So let's just see what happens here. Okay. So, you tell me, did I do what I was said? Did I do what I said I was going to do? I don't know. I think so. Hopefully, I was drawing different sounds, different rates of speed. I was playing different tonalities. I was rolling. I was using dynamics, loud, soft. At one point, I was playing just the rim of the snare drum. So there's lots of different ways that you could approach the snare drum. I didn't even get into like using rim click. So there's all sorts of creative ways that you can play the drum, but you have to sometimes it helps to just restrict yourself to allow yourself to get into that creative mode. All right? So let's graduate this idea to playing more of the drum set, but not the whole drum set. I'm just going to play the snare drum, the hi-hat, the bass drum, and the ride cymbal. I'm going to play a solo just using those 4 instruments, and let's see, again, what I come up with. Now, I'm totally improvising here, so there's nothing scripted other than, the lesson plan itself, which, by the way, you can download this lesson plan at my Patreon page, patreon.com/BrianZach, and pay $5 a month, and it gives you access to this lesson and all the other lessons that I've done, and so much more content that I've created over the years about career and just helpful tips and practice techniques and pad work and all sorts of things that I've done. So head on over to patreon.com/BrianZach for those downloads. All right, let's get into this sort of 4-way solo here. Remember, I'm just playing the bass drum, the snare drum, the hi-hat, and the ride on this solo. And let's see what comes out. 2, 3. Okay, so I'm thinking real creatively now. I'm exploring the voices. I'm exploring the different sounds, high, low, short, long. I'm exploring sounds that are together, bass drum and cymbal, bass drum and snare drum, snare drum and cymbal, all these different combinations and different orders in which to play them in. All right, so no longer am I thinking to myself, oh no, what do I play? I'm not thinking about that at all. I'm thinking about what can I do next to be super creative, all right? So another concept, not another concept, but another way of using this restrictive lesson concept, if you will, is let's choose a subdivision to stay with. All right, let's play 16th notes in this next solo. Now, I'm no longer restricting the drum set in terms of which instruments I'm going to play. I'm only restricting myself to play 16th notes on any part of the drum set that I have before me. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3. think you get the point. Last but not least, let's choose 3 notes. We're just going to make all of my basically everything that I play is going to be based upon 3 notes in this next drum solo. So I'm not saying that I won't play certain passages that are more than 3 notes or less than 3 notes, but everything that I play is going to be I'm going to try to base everything on 3 notes of just groups of 3 notes around the kit. All right, let's see if I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Already I messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I think I'm hopefully getting the point across. So you see, through using these restrictions, you can force yourself to think out of the box and get more creative and to exhaust all of the different possibilities that maybe you wouldn't think of playing on your drum set, whether it's just on the snare drum alone, all by itself, or around the whole kit in different subdivisions or different groupings of notes. All right, so this is supposed to, hopefully this will help you overcome that what do I play question mark when you're tossed a drum solo in a live setting and you have a whole bunch of space to fill, maybe like a huge chorus to fill, 32 bars or something like that. What do I play? And a lot of people can get sort of paralyzed by the fact that there's too many choices. There's so many sounds on the drum kit. Where do I start? Where do I focus? How do I shape this drum solo? I think that this will help you to overcome that, all right? By coming up with small motifs, by expanding them, just by using, a snare drum or maybe a floor tom or just a rate of speed or just a grouping of notes. I really think that this will help. I hope that it helps you. And, try this at your own drum set and see if it works for you. And let me know in the comments if you have any other ways of restricting your ideas on the drum kit and narrowing the choices down so that you can focus on playing music and being creative instead of worrying about, oh no, what do I play next? All right, that's today's lesson. Thanks so much for joining me here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Patreon.com/BrianZach and BrianZach.com for drum lessons. Thank you again. See you on the next video.